we save each other's lives. Not in those exact words, but this is what we do here. And he also told Gabriel, if you endanger any one of these people, they're my family. If you endanger them, I'll kill you.
Right.
So there's just this really feeling of family, and this is corny, but especially after something like Walker Stalker Con, I feel like it extends out from the show to the fans.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Yeah. And this podcast and you guys too.
Oh.
What else? I love that Carl seemed to be pushing Rick towards, we still have to save people. We're strong, and he was the one who wanted to respond to Gabriel's cries for help. Mm-hmm. Come on, let's go find out what's going on. So he's a good boy.
He is a good boy, but I'm not completely certain that this is going to turn out well for anybody.
Just that they did go save him. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's so hard to predict what happens on the show, but I really do think that they're setting him up as a character with this long arc where he'll be redeemed. That's what I think.
Okay.
But we'll see. Even though I knew it was probably a sign of danger, I really did enjoy seeing everyone sitting around laughing and eating and
having that moment.
Yeah. And then even when, well, maybe not then, but they went and interspersed it with the Terminus people eating Bob at the end there.
Yeah, that's
pretty sick.
That sort of ruined the whole moment for me.
It's a bit of a downer. Okay, let's get into some listener responses. Just quick ones.
Great. The first one comes from Sean Naranjo Glowacki, who writes, Shish kebab.
There were a lot of those.
There were.
Barry Beidel Jr. says people are definitely worse monsters than the dead.
Amen. Beth Gilmore writes, why was Bob outside crying? Scooby-Doo or basic horror film rules. Don't wander off in the cemetery at night. That's it. He
gave up.
Yep.
Carol Johnson, this show is so gross.
Radames Montez writes, can't believe Tyrese didn't kill the gum chewing dude. That'll cause some problems.
Yep. Maybe he'll kill him for real next time.
We'll see.
After he kills Beth. Audrey Pietruccia says, I get a little ticked off when I watch Rick so easily forgive Tara for her allegiance to the governor, yet Carol was unilaterally banished without having a chance to defend her actions before the council. And I say, that's because Carol wasn't sorry. Tara expressed contrition. She said, I didn't know who the governor was, and I didn't know who you people were. That's what I say.
And she was contrite right away. And that's why, and Rick said, he
saw it on her face.
That's why I talked to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He saw that she was like,
but thanks for writing in.
Love you. Megan Divley Lehman writes, I thought it was interesting that Daryl, the consummate hunter, picked up, if subconsciously, on the fact that they were being hunted. With his comment in the woods about the feeling he had, something about the delivery of that line made the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
Hi, Megan. It's been a while.
Hey, Megan.
Yeah, I like that too. Dominic Muzio says, great episode. I wonder what kind of wine goes with Bob.
No.
Probably
a nice Bordeaux.
Yeah, I think it would be, he looks like rich meat, so something really full.
Aww. Rich Goulian writes, barbecue. Barbecue.
Alan Rutledge says, poor Bob is now Bob Stakey. Next week,
Bob Stuckey.
Rick and the gang will go on a frantic search for Bob and Herschel's old wooden leg.
Oh, Melissa Arlene Camacho writes that mini convo Bob had with Rick while on a run was a bit foreshadowing. Bob mentioned that he was with Rick on going back and finishing them. Maybe they should have.
Maybe so.
Good catch, Melissa.
Yeah. Gino Hughes says, man, I hope Bob survives this. Do you think there's a chance he could survive?
Honestly, I don't.
You don't think so?
No.
I don't really think so either.
I would love it. What a weird thing to have, like two really hopeful, sweet guys missing their lower limbs.
I think he will survive. I'm not trying to make a joke, but a good part of the next episode. I think you'll have some more to do, but I have a feeling maybe by the end of the next episode he might be dead.
Oh, yeah. We love you, Bob Stuckey. Alicia Moss DiDonato writes, if the human on human violence and gore continues, I'm going to need to join a support group. God, I'm with you, girlfriend. It was rough watching it.
This is the support group.
Yeah, this is it, baby. Love you. Big ol' hug you are.
Cyber hug. Oh, by the way, nobody's won our Who Dies First contest yet because no one's dead. Not yet. Randy Stevenson says, I like that each new major antagonist feels more threatening than the last. Remember when Angry Shane seemed like a problem? Or how about that kind southern gent with the eye patch and the tank?
I know. It really puts everybody in perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't seem so bad. Yeah. Charlie Oliver writes, I knew Bob was going to get bit when they introduced a new black male character. Oh my God. A new one comes, another one goes. Lol.
Oh, they did it again.
Oh my God. That better not be true, but God, that's freaky.
Rick Costa says, I think Bob needs a drink about now. I wouldn't begrudge him that.
Jeffrey Labe writes, made me a little hungry. Oh.
Sicko. Natalie Lopnaw Baker says, oh, the fact that Tyrese didn't have the conviction to finish off Martin, thus causing Bob's fate, is really going to tear him up. Now, wait, do we know that caused his fate?
No, we don't know that Martin led him there, but maybe he did.
It didn't help.
No, we don't. Rhonda Sims writes, I love this episode. Seeing them all together, minus Beth, reminded us of the Last Supper at the CDC. I know Tara prefers girls, but I thought I saw a hint of sadness or jealousy while she watched Glenn and Maggie together. I'm confused about the Carol-Daryl scene with the water jugs. Why did Daryl chuck the water jug at her?
That.
It seemed like it was kind of, he was kind of nervous and he was fixing to make a move, question mark?
He was like, here, will you carry this? And dropped it on the ground or something.
I'm like, weird. That's strange. Yeah. Okay. Also wondering why Beth isn't the focus. She was kidnapped. So why aren't they talking about finding this group who took her? Why isn't Maggie demanding they try? They could at least get back to the funeral home and look for clues/signs.
Totally.
Yep.
Well, he is now.
Yeah.
Jared E. Bursler Mosher says, OMG, they could have at least shared with Bob.
Yuck.
You want some?
What is that? Is that self-cannibalism? Anthony Farnsworth writes, a lot of closure this episode. The character interaction was much needed. I really missed our group just talking to each other.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you.
Totally. All right. Well, that was a very good sum up. Let's take a look about our first sponsor, Fracture. First, go to fractureme.com and enter promo code GAK for a 15% discount. That's GAK. So Fracture, as you guys know by now, but maybe there's some of you don't. It's a way to get your digital photos into this really beautiful presentation. It's printed on glass and it's ready for mounting and it doesn't need a frame. And so it's really simple and beautiful and it's unique. And most people don't have these. So if you put them up on your wall, people will be impressed. But what I like is that they're also just really minimal. So it showcases your photos in a really attractive and appealing way. I think taking pictures is a lot of fun. I take tons and tons of pictures, and until Fracture, I actually have none of them up. I never.
No kidding, really?
It's been a long time since I put a picture up, and I don't have any up except for the ones that I have Fracture, and that's just because it's a pain in the butt. And it used to be that all we would ever do with our pictures is we'd get them printed out, but now they're on our computer. So now if you want to get your picture done, you go to fractureme.com, you upload it, you choose a size, and then they send it out to you. If you go to fractureme.com, don't forget to enter GAK for your 15% discount, and then they'll know that you got it through us. And when you buy from them, you're also helping to support us too. So that's another good thing about this. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, I do. I want to add that there are some holidays coming up, and I'd like to put it into our listeners' heads that maybe this would be a good time to start sort of planning about if you're thinking about presents to get people.
These are good ones. I've done it.
Yeah. Start to think about pictures that maybe you could start to take that then maybe you could give as presents.
These days, it's hard to figure out what to get people because, it's so easy for everyone to kind of just get what they want. Cost is a factor, but as far as just figuring out what people want, this is awesome because fractures are really personal.
Yeah.
You get a picture that you have with somebody else or, of somebody's grandkids or something like that.
They're totally unique.
Do one of these and people love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My family did last year. I don't know if they're going to want the same thing again this year.
Too bad.
I haven't thought about it yet.
He's a year older. Of course they'll want pictures of him.
Fractures all around. As always, we thank Fracture for their support of our podcast.
Thanks, Fracture.
Obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're
All messed up.
This is a Walking Dead Cast news update.
Do you know that's Rem La Victoire who says that? This is a
No,
Walking Dead Cast news
I did
update.
not know that.
Yeah, thanks, Rem.
Thanks, Rim.
Okay. First item, Walker Stalker Con. I thought we'd talk about Walker Stalker Con a little bit here. Karen and I just got back from this huge convention thrown by James and Eric, the Walker Stalkers in Atlanta, featuring almost every actor from The Walking Dead and 25,000 of their most voracious fans.
Actually, I heard that it was closer to about 35,000.
Totally.
Yeah, it was huge. And it felt like just a big 3-day party.
Yeah, but it was a lot of work. I mean, and stress too, because we had to get up on stage. I mean,
Party for other people.
It's freaking fun, but you know, it's also you want to do a good job.
Yeah.
So we get up. We did.
Oh,
several
no, it's
panels.
work.
I did 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my favorite was Nicotero. It was also awesome to do the Green Family.
Yes.
The auditorium was full. There were 3,000 people.
And we got up on stage and they knew that the panel was starting, and so all of a sudden they started to scream and yell, and it was like a jet engine taking off in our faces. It was crazy.
This is my fourth one of these, and I really am starting to get into like amping up the crowd a little bit. I don't do a lot, but I just went out and said, "Are you guys ready for the Green Family?"
That's what it felt like.
That's
it was
cool.
crazy.
And then the great thing
there was a wedding proposal,
Yeah.
a marriage proposal.
We set it
sorry.
up, me and Karen. Well, that we had
Eric.
to. Yeah. So you said we talked about this with the actors first, and
Right.
You said,
And I said to Scott Wilson, if Herschel could say one more thing to the governor, what would it be?
and then I said, "Oh wait, I actually saw someone dressed like the governor out in the audience. Why don't we get her up here because it was a woman, and we can do a little role play?" And so her and her boyfriend came. I go, "Bring your friend." They got up. We handed them both the mics, and then he said, "Well, the real reason I have you up here is because I wanted to ask you." And the whole audience was like, "Oh my god!"
It went crazy. Everyone started to scream. It was crazy. It was like a
Yeah.
reality TV show.
Too bad she said no. No,
He got down on his knee and everything. Gave her the rock.
she said yes.
And left. And afterwards, I was like, "You didn't even turn around and like say hi."
I know.
Although
Lauren wanted to get a picture.
She did get a picture
of them, but I thought, should we have them come up and get their picture with these guys? I almost did that, but I'm like, it's already been a little, let's move on with the panel. They were late starting it.
Kyle.
They totally should have done that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Cool little
they
story.
were playing some wedding music, and I was joking that if she said no, they should have played wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly.
But she said yes.
Exactly. How did you like doing Abraham's Army?
It was good. I liked it a lot. I thought Josh especially was on fire.
Stand-up
And-
comedian, man.
Yeah, and Christian too. Michael Cudlitz seemed a little subdued, and I don't know. Afterwards, I kind of wish that we would have gotten into it with them a little bit more instead of letting the audience ask most of the questions.
Yeah. One thing I thought it was sweet that Josh said is that Michael is the three of them are really tight because they act together as a group. Clearly, and they've done a lot of days on the set, the three of them together as a tight
and like
group.
they're tight and a little separate from everybody on the show. They are friendly with the cast, but they still feel like they're bonded
closest with each other.
together.
Yeah, and Michael takes care of them. I guess
he's their dad.
Right. When daylight savings happened, he texted Josh and Christian and said, "Don't forget daylight savings." And everybody in the audience laughed. By the way, did you hear me? I threw Josh a line, and Josh used it and got a laugh. Did you hear it?
I don't remember.
Yeah. Somebody in the audience asked him, "Where's your mullet?" And Josh froze, and I said, It's at the photo op. It's doing a photo op." And then he said, "Yeah, it's doing a photo op." And everybody laughed.
I didn't see that.
I was like, yes, he used my line.
Well, it was awesome. And like I said, my favorite was Greg Nicotero because he's
Fabulous.
He's fabulous.
He's Greg Nicotero.
Knows how to talk. He's had all these great experiences. You'll probably hear some of those on the Walker Stalker podcast or our podcast. You can also go to WSCLive.com and pay $20 to see all of those anytime before I think it might just be till the end of October. I'm not sure. We don't make any money off of that, but I'm just letting you know in case you want to see them. Because it's great, and I like to support the Walker Stalkers too. One of my favorite things, just before we move on, was meeting listeners, too.
Yeah.
We had a listener meet up and finally got to meet Tom Bartley.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yes.
Leanne Hicks and her husband, Mike.
Yeah, they're
Really
great.
nice. Kim Freemal Sonderman. It was very sweet and cool.
Yes, she was.
Aislinn was my favorite because she wore a 90210 shirt.
She wore it for you, baby.
I wouldn't say she wore it proudly because it was kind of hidden.
She had to pull up her sweatshirt to show Jason. But
It's a secret
so
club.
Cute.
We saw Jeff Comlake and his very patient wife again.
Yep, we did. So nice.
We met Candace and her new wife, Rahel.
Yep. Yep.
And I just want to tell you two, I thought you were super cute. And I so regret not having gotten it together and congratulated you while we were up on one of the panels. The proposal kind of stole your thunder, but if I thought of it, so gosh darn it. If you go, I don't know how I'm going to make up to you for that, but I just want to say congratulations again.
Yeah, congratulations.
We got to meet. And there were a bunch more listeners. I'm horrible with names, but we had that meetup and I got some pretty good discussions with a few of you. And I remember all your faces and I just really appreciate you guys. And it was really fun to meet you.
Yep, ditto.
Okay, next news item. Clementine from Telltale's Walking Dead series is getting the full McFarlane toy treatment.
She sure is.
It looks a little more realistic than her in the game, like a real girl, a little bit.
Well, she's
not
3D.
as cartoony. Yeah, but it just seemed like they could have made a cartoony figure.
Yeah.
And it was a little more like what
She's
a real
little girl, yeah.
It's cool. It's very cool. I know Melissa's stoked by it.
I asked Melissa if it had a button on it that had her voice doing Clementine.
Or a little string that you pull back.
Right, exactly.
That'd be cool.
She said no.
No. There's two versions. There's one that's just a little bloody and one that has blood all over it.
Better not be Clementine's blood.
And no, it's not. Walking Dead Season 5 premiere last week drew a record audience for a basic cable drama series. I think I've said this news item many times, but it just keeps going higher and higher.
Yeah, it really does.
17.29 million viewers.
It just seems like that's just a ridiculous number.
It's so crazy because the comic does the same thing. It just gets more and more numbers as time goes on. And almost no other comics or shows do that. They start off high and go down, but not Walking Dead.
Man, he really tapped a vein.
Yeah, totally.
So to speak.
Okay. This is slightly spoilery, not very much at all. But I just want to warn you, if you don't like spoilers, just click that forward button and move ahead to the next section. So, new cast member Alexandra Breckenridge will be joining the show this season. She played Kaylee in season 3 of American Horror Story. She's really gorgeous, and it doesn't say really anything about her character, but she may be a regular in season 6.
Every cast member seems to be more gorgeous than the next.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also slightly spoilery about season 5, Scott Gimple said, even though they're on the road, there's going to be a wide variety of locations this year. When they're on the road, we'll see the whole swath of life. There will be rural, there will be suburban, there will be urban, and everything in between. Urban.
Yay!
I want to see urban.
Yeah.
DC, maybe?
Or points in between.
Yep. Okay, this very last item is more spoilery. Pretty significantly more. I mean, I never like to give just flat out huge spoilers, but this is one that if you really don't like spoilers, you should skip it. So, according to executive producer Gail Ann Hurd, this season, Beth will have a journey that will test her toughness. Emily Kinney said this season was the most difficult for her physically and emotionally. Crew members have said Beth's story is very creepy and that many scenes were filmed in an abandoned hospital in Atlanta, which is one reason why I think that cross might be a medical cross. Oh. And then the 4th episode, Slabtown, is expected to be a Beth-centric episode.
Slabtown, that doesn't sound fun.
I know, that's like a mortuary or something.
Yeah. I don't want to hang out in Slabtown.
Doesn't sound like a fun place.
No.
All right. That's it for the news. Now it's time to talk about our second sponsor. That's Audible. If you go to audiblepodcast.com/deadcast, you can get a free audiobook when you sign up for a free trial. And Karen, can you tell us a little bit more about Audible?
Yeah, as Jason mentioned before, they have over 150,000 titles, including new releases and bestsellers. And you can download their free app. And you can try Audible for the first 30 days. It's free. After that, it's only $14.95 per month thereafter. You get one audiobook per month plus 30% off any additional titles. And it's really perfect. And I can tell you, it's really perfect if you have to do household chores, if you're commuting, if you're working out.
Things you can't do with normal books.
Right, exactly. It really helped my commute when I was going to and from Oakland and San Jose. Ooh, that was a long drive, and Audible made it bearable. Thank you, Audible. Right now, I'm in the middle of a book by Tana French. It's called In the Woods, and it is a mystery set in Dublin. It's the first of the series called The Dublin Murder Squad, and it's fantastic. Read this and you'll be hooked too. I kind of read them out of order, so now I'm going back to the very first one. It's 20 hours long. It's actually 20 plus hours long, and it's fantastic. So try Tanner French's In the Woods. That's my recommendation.
Also, you can get all of the Walking Dead novels written by J. Bonansinga with oversight from Kirkman, all about the backstory of the governor. I recommend that. And if you, he just put out a new one. I'm not sure if it's on Audible yet, but now he's going and writing about new characters. So, and he doesn't have as much oversight from Kirkman, but Kirkman liked what he did so much, he blessed that. So they're going to continue on. Eric, Mr. Blog, I just gave away his first name. That's okay. He interviews J. Bonansinga. He has at the last couple of these conventions, and he's really enjoyed him. And he has read all of those books and, says they just get better and better as they go along. So that's another thing that you guys might be interested in. We thank Audible for their support. And again, if you go to audiblepodcast.com/deadcast, you can get that free audiobook. Thanks.
Thanks, Audible.
All right, now let's move on to listener moans, groans, and grunts.
Brains. This first email comes from Gloria Dweck, who writes, I can't believe they chopped off Bob's leg. I feel like we've never really had someone half die on the show. It's either a character dies gruesomely or they miraculously survive. This is a creepy twist. I don't know how Bob can survive this. What a horrific way to die. God, maybe he's not going to die. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I think it's possible he could survive a couple episodes, but I don't think he's going to be around like Herschel was for a whole season.
And my guess is that they don't have great antibiotics anyway to take care of him.
Yeah. I think he's a goner.
I think so too.
Anyways, okay, this is John Seaman who says, I just wanted to make a comment on my theory on what the symbols are on the tree from the first and second episodes. The circle and the X found near the tracks in episode 1 could be a railroad track symbol. Gabriel mentioned that he didn't venture far from the church. He may have marked the trees to show that trail led to the railroad just to keep his bearings.
Good point.
The inverted horizontal L shape near the tree where Bob got whacked could be another marking that could be a couple different universal hobo symbols or a variation of those symbols which could signify water, treasure, or unfriendly people ahead. I wonder if he's just like, if he knows that's what the inverted L means, or if he's just speculating on what it could symbolize. Anyway.
Did you see the Mad Men episode where they talked about the universal hobo symbols?
No. I mean, yeah, I did, but I don't remember it because I've seen them all. Right.
Well, at one point, what is his name?
Don Draper.
Don Draper does talk about the universal hobos symbols.
So it's sort of, okay.
It's like the hobo language.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He continues, Gabe could have marked that tree either to hide money, tithes, to keep it out of looters' hands, pointing out a direction to a water source, or signifying unfriendly people. All kinds of speculation there.
Really,
I hope we find out
what,
I'm sure we will find out what all this means.
I like these little mysteries. Brian Huron writes, just wanted to mention that Rick does not care too much about going to DC because if you remember, the CDC guy told him that there was nothing left and that he was the last one left in the government in the whole world. And something about the French, can't remember. Wikipedia says Jenner said French doctors came closest to finding a cure, but communication was lost.
I'm not sure he knew for sure that the whole government was dead, or did he? I mean, how could you know for sure?
How could you know for sure? Yeah.
If all the lines went down.
I think Rick is going along until he finds a better place, and then he will bring it up. Yeah, that's probably true.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't
You think he's there for the duration?
Yeah, I don't think he's thinking, oh, what about what Jenner said? I'll wait until a good time to bring it up. I don't think that's on his mind at all.
And also,
They think we've forgotten all about that probably.
Yeah,
by now.
that's very true.
I wish I could.
But interesting points, Brian.
Yeah. This is John Hauser who says, so Carol and Daryl are out on the hunt for Beth. I tell you what, if they can't bring her back, then she's a goner. Was Carol in the process of leaving? Maybe it had something to do with the talk Rick had with her. I thought he was trying to say he follows her and maybe she can't deal with that after everything that happened between her and Lizzie and Mika. I'm not sure what you're saying there, but it's confusing with Carol.
Yes.
Poor Bob, just when life was starting to look brighter for him. Well, give that man a cane. If Herschel could do it, so can he. Yeah, I guess so. He only has one leg gone so far, huh? Right?
Yeah.
Or was it two?
It was a left leg.
It was just one. Okay.
Or were you saying correct?
Got it. I don't think Father Gabriel is hiding anything. I just think he hasn't really exposed himself to the new outside world much. I think he pretty much said that he's done some things. He just doesn't want to say what they are. So that, by definition, is hiding something, I guess. Anyways, he says, can't wait to listen to you too. Thanks for being there each week. You're welcome.
You're welcome, John. Thanks for writing. And Daniel Diaz writes, like in Breaking Bad, you can't have half measures. They have to be full measures. This seems to be a theme in The Walking Dead. You get rid of your enemies and you don't let them linger to fight another day. Otherwise, you'll be sorry. If Rick had taken out the governor in their 1-to-1 meeting after the governor and his group ran over the prison and Prison War 1, there would not have been a Prison War 2 and Herschel and his ponytail would still be around. Now, in this season, after escaping from Terminus, Rick wants to go back and finish the job, but the group, still shocked as to what just occurred, says no thank you. So in last night's episode, we have the termites who are now the hunters, and apparently you don't need a license in Georgia to hunt people. Had Rick gone back and finished the job, the termites would be gone. Rick needed to tent Terminus and get rid of the termites, kill them dead.
Yeah. It's another, I can agree with that.
Double tap. It's the first rule of
Even
the
with
zombie
people.
apocalypse. Yeah, you have to double tap.
At this point, I agree. I guess I'm feeling a little more ruthless too. And I'm like, you should have probably went back and finished him off.
Yeah. But at the time, it seemed like a bad idea. I mean, they just escaped with their lives.
Yeah.
It was overrun with zombies. Who knows?
No,
Coulda,
right.
woulda, shoulda.
Well, it was Judith that seemed to change his mind.
Right.
But
yeah, exactly.
Judith would make a nice, tasty little veal cutlet.
Oh,
That's really bad. Jeffrey Bray says, in my last comment on the premiere, I complained about Tyrese and his constant contradictions. I was just wondering if someone could explain this character. I don't understand him. It's not okay to lie about Karen, but let's lie about the girl's fate. Well, that's because Karen, people know about Karen already. Some people do. At least that's one reason why. So Tyrese was just trying to get Carol to square that away with everybody else. But nobody knows what happened to the girls.
Except Tyrese and Carol.
Yeah, and they just don't want to bring it up and talk about it. And if somebody asks what happened to the girls, they'll be like, what girls?
Girl?
Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Zombie, look over there. He says, let's tell the governor that Rick is nuts after his wife dies in childbirth, and then go nuts yourself when your girlfriend is killed. Yeah. Well, Rick did start yelling at the ceiling and tell them to get the heck out of there.
And answering the zombie phone.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand that. And rightfully so, by the way. She would have, go nuts yourself when your girlfriend is killed. And rightfully so, by the way, she would have turned and killed others. We don't know that. We don't know they would have turned. A lot of people survived that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last we saw of her, she was just a little sneezy.
Yeah.
And he told Carol the kid was, quote, taken care of at the shack, but clearly not. Yeah, we don't know yet whether he was being truthful about that, but he has been shown to be on the meek side, so that's consistent with his character. Some of his many contradictions. I love the irony of Rick asking him to stay behind to protect Judith. Didn't Tyrese respond with anything to keep Judith safe? Yeah, right. He loves Judith, although I did wonder if that was a little bit an excuse not to have to go out and take care of business with everybody else. Mm-hmm. But somebody does need to stay back and protect her. He says, I so want to like Tyrese, but at this point, I feel like it should have been Tyrese kidnapped by the Terminus group instead of Bob. Poor Bob. P.S. Is there a deadline to submit emails for listener moans, groans, and grunts? Typically, the deadline is midday Monday, like around, I would say, if you can, noon or 1 Pacific time. That would be good. So I think comic readers are kind of bummed that Tyrese isn't more aggressive because he's pretty much just a badass in the comic.
Really?
Yeah. But I think one reason why he's not is because in the show as much, because in the comic you don't have Tyrese, Abraham, and Daryl all around at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot of badasses in one room.
They're like the lieutenants, and they can't all fulfill that role, so they decided to make his character different. I think that's what's going on.
Feels more realistic anyway.
Yeah, I think so too.
And this is from John Stanford, who writes, last week Jason said something about how Carol sniped that propane tank and lit off a bottle rocket and blew up that tank all Rambo-like. Too hard to believe? Well, I happen to work at a refinery, and maybe I could shed a little light on it. Once the tank was punctured, the vapor cloud would spread on the ground and out, depending on which way the wind was blowing. The propane is very flammable. They tell us if you see a leak, stop your truck upwind away from the leak, or your hot exhaust pipe will set it off. Now, I never tested that out and don't plan on it either. Carol just would have to get it close to the vapor cloud. She wouldn't actually have to hit the tank, just on the ground or in the air close to it.
Okay, wait. So that helps a little, but those bottle rockets just don't seem that accurate to me, and it would have to be a damn big vapor cloud for me to believe it. And also, after everything that she'd done that episode, I'm just saying I would like to see one thing not go perfect in that sequence of events where she puts zombie guts all over here, traipses in there, and doesn't get seen by anybody else, even though they're all shooting zombies. She shoots the tank and all that stuff that she did. I'm glad she did it, but it just would have been nice to see
Let her have her
more
moment.
trouble with it. Jeez. Well, I just felt corny, like I did feel like I was watching Rambo. Did you see Rambo?
No.
It was just like that.
Giant vapor cloud, man. Also, who would win a one-legged foot race, Bob or Herschel? Herschel's dead, I'm going to say Bob.
Okay, settled. We got a ton of calls this week. It's a long episode already, and I can't play all the calls, but I'm going to play a few, and I hope you guys who didn't make it will try again next time. So, this is from Jamie.
Hey, Jason and Karen. This is Jamie. I'm calling about Rick. Now, you guys keep saying that Rick should have checked with the group before kicking Carol out, and that it's uncharacteristic or something, but if you review back to Rick's entire history and look at the things that he's done, every decision he makes is unilateral. When they were discussing Randall, they all sat around, they discussed it, and then Rick said, okay, we're going to kill Randall. They went outside, and then Carl saw him, and he said, okay, now we're not killing Randall. But he didn't say, how do the rest of you guys feel about this? And he's kind of done that the whole time, to when he stepped down from the Rick-tatorship and said, we're now doing this by committee, he refused to be on the council at that point, because when he decides to do something, he doesn't check with anybody else. He'll listen to their input, but then when he makes up his mind, he makes up his mind. And he's done that through the whole thing. So just something to think about.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jamie.
I think you're totally right. That's how Rick is, and I don't think it was out of character at all for him to take Carol out there.
Yeah,
I just don't agree with that. That's all.
Yeah,
but you're right. It totally makes sense that he would do that, because he has. I mean, you could argue, okay, well, he's been unilateral, but then maybe he made a choice to have it be democratic and even step down from the council because he was tired of the responsibility. So maybe he should have changed at that point, but he obviously didn't. And it makes sense that he didn't, because that's who he is. Right?
Right.
So next is Idris.
Holy shit. That was Idris. And yeah, that episode was fucking amazing. Excuse my language. If you guys don't like cursing out there, please skip ahead. I mean, that episode was awesome. I was not expecting it to be that awesome, but it was, man. That was freaking awesome. I mean, Rick went commando. I mean, Carol is like my new favorite character. I mean, her from if you look at her from season 1 to now, it's freaking amazing. Her transformation is awesome. She's like Daryl and Rick mixed together in one. It's freaking awesome. I mean, what can I say? Flaming zombie face bite. I mean, that sounds like a rock band or something.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I think this is about
Flaming
the
zombie
It
face
is.
bite. I mean, it was freaking awesome. And then, I mean, Tyrese beating the crap. I mean, actually, Tyrese's part might have been my least favorite, but it still was pretty awesome. Man. Him outside and freaking going Hulk again on the zombies and just smashing that guy's face. And I loved Carol's reaction after Tyrese told her that the guy got his hands around Judith's neck. How she was immediately going in the cabin to stab him up, you know. But that whole episode was awesome. And then at the end, holy shit, fucking Morgan. I mean, I was in bed with my wife. We was watching it. We both hopped up out of the damn bed when we saw Morgan out there. I see some really, really good episodes coming out this season. I mean, just action-packed and full of plot. I love Scott Gimple, and I love you guys. Take care.
We love you, Idris.
Yep. Thanks.
It's great. Thanks for calling.
Good call. All right. If this last one is David from San Antonio.
Hey, this is David from San Antonio. I was just calling about this week's podcast. Heard you asking about Herschel's watch, and I actually had a question about it too, because I saw them using the band or the chain on the watch to saw off the shank or the wooden stake that Rick used later to kill the butchers. And we kind of were wondering, how did he get the watch? But I think what happened, at least my theory, is when he first realized what was going down, he kind of grabbed the watch out of the termite's hand and must have pocketed it, and then they never ended up getting it off him again after they rounded him up into the train car. So Herschel's watch, I think, is actually with Rick, so hopefully he'll be able to give it back to Glenn at some point after they stop using it as a chainsaw. All right, thanks. Love the show. I'm going to keep listening. Thanks.
Thanks, David from
I
San
can't keep track
Antonio.
of these watches.
I know.
But it makes sense.
And the Rick's watch was in the room, and Carol gave him back his watch, and he tried to give Carol back her watch.
And she said no, and now I think it's because she wasn't ready to rejoin the group, and that would have symbolized that for her.
Yeah.
I guess.
And Rick is probably thinking, what the fuck am I going to do? 2 watches.
Well,
And
yeah.
why do
so
I even need a watch in the zombie apocalypse?
I know.
Carol.
That's the big question. But he should, if he has Herschel's watch, he should have already given it back to Glenn. Come on. It's Glenn's now.
Yeah, undoubtedly he's already done that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because
But
why
so
would he
there's-
need 3
there's 3,
watches
yeah.
in the zombie apocalypse?
He's a watch hoarder.
Why does he even need 1, people?
Glenn needs that watch because it's a token
It
of
is
Herschel's
nice.
approval.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't need it. I guess he's keeping Carol's watch because he wants to give it back to her to symbol. I don't know.
You never know when you have to saw your way out of a boxcar.
That's true. It came in handy, didn't it?
It did.
Yep. I'm going to try that with my Apple Watch when I get it next year. All right. Let's move on to comic talk. There's a lot of talk to be had about the comic this week, I'm sure. And if you don't want to hear it because you hate spoilers, then you should skip to the next section. But otherwise, let's hand it over to Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou for comic talk.
Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Blog,
And I'm Grace.
and welcome to another edition of Comic Talk. Grace, why don't you go ahead and start digging into really not only a hell of an episode, but probably the one episode, at least as far back as I can remember, that had more direct things out of the comic than almost any other one. What do you
Yeah.
think?
So much of it was lifted right from the comic. And I think, didn't Robert Kirkman write this one? So that might
He
have been,
did, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
Well-
that's just laziness on his part.
Well, one of the things that I noticed right away, of course, was the introduction of Father Gabriel Stokes.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that happened around issue 61.
And of course, all of this, I mean, this entire episode is lifted straight out of Volume 11, Fear the Hunters. And
Right.
what has always been, honestly, my favorite volume of this entire series was always this one.
It's a good arc.
For so many different reasons. But yeah, right off the bat, in the book, Father Gabriel just pretty much walks up to their camp and saying, hey, do you guys have any food? I'm a hungry dude. In this one, of course, in the show, of course, this time around, we've got he is in mortal danger and they come to save him.
Yeah, we do get some of the direct quotes from him. You know, I have no weapons of any kind. The word of God is the only protection I need.
Absolutely. And of course, in both versions, the survivors are extremely distrustful of the fact that, no, how in the world are you able to survive with just a Bible in your hand? So that's another similarity.
Yeah, and one you picked up while we were watching, which I did not recall because we actually watched this one together, was Father Gabriel's bad joke about leading the survivors into a trap.
Yeah.
And his response is almost exactly like it is in the comic.
Oh, no, not almost. It
Well,
was
exactly, yeah.
exact. I mean, I was actually last night when I rewatched the episode after getting back from Atlanta, I was listening to that and I had the book in hand, and it was so funny because the moment he said what he said, I read it straight out of the book. And Mrs. Blog was like, that's exactly the same. I'm like, yep, same thing. Yeah, the whole I'm sorry members of my flock have told me in the past that my sense of humor leaves much to be desired. Of course, he said a slightly different joke, but that response was exactly like the same. And even the church, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, that was like lifted right from the comic.
Yeah, it's like they built the church based off of the plans in the comic. I don't know which came first.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. Yeah, I also liked there were kind of some hints in the show of Gabriel's backstory, that was eventually revealed in the comic. We haven't gotten to it yet in the show, but that was neat. Some little hints that the writing on the side of the church. Do you remember exactly what it said?
I think on the side of the church it said, "You'll burn for this." And then, of course, you had the knife marks trying to open up the window. Now, let's not spoil what that is specifically quite yet. I'm guessing maybe next week we're going to find out, and we'll go over all of that. But boy, this is I mean, what's funny is this episode, we were going to go into some theories about where we thought they were going after the whole Terminus event. And part of that was me, texting both you and Jason saying, I think Terminus was going to be a prequel to the Hunters. I think they are going to do that out. And of course we were discussing who we thought might get eaten. But let's get to that in just a moment. So then, of course, the Hunters.
Oh, yeah. Very exciting.
Lifted straight out of issues 61 through 63. In the show, it's a little bit different. As I said, they gave the Hunters essentially a backstory with the Terminus thing.
Yeah.
Right. So where then did it start really matching up specifically?
Well, I mean, the survivors kind of feel like they're being watched. In the comic, it was Andrea, but of course she's dead in the show. And this one, it was Daryl, but he wasn't quite certain. I think he kind of blew it off more than Andrea did in the comic. But
Andrea got a little mad because she was going out to take a pee, and I think she thought somebody was like spying on her peeing, and she started calling them perverts or something. And it's interesting that when we did see it at Walker Stalker Con, it was in a large auditorium, and honestly, it was kind of difficult to see things clearly. And there's, us and 300 of our best friends sitting there watching this. So, they got a little noise going on. The sound quality wasn't the best. And because it was not as clear as could be, it was hard to see what was going on. When I rewatched it last night, I could see the people really moving in the background, in the trees. When Daryl said he thought he felt something. And then looking at the comic, that's exactly what we see in there as well. Andrea actually does see somebody moving around. So that was pretty cool. Yeah. And of course, then one of the survivors who, I'm sure Jason and Karen have already speculated on all of this, but one of the survivors in the book that was bitten, who was Dale, who wandered off into the woods to no longer be a problem to Andrea and everybody else, who then gets snagged by the Hunters. In this case, that's Bob. I mean,
that's Bob.
I think we both agree he was bitten.
Yeah. I mean, they did not say he was bitten or show he was bitten, but I mean, it's pretty obvious that he went out there for a reason, I think.
For sure.
That one in the basement got him.
Yep. So that one, that's a direct comparison, but instead of Dale, of course, we have Bob.
And of course, we had a lot of the same creepy dialogue that completely mirrored the comic. Good news is you're not dead yet. try not to read too much into the word yet. It'll just drive you crazy.
I love that when I heard that. I loved it when I heard that. And the fact, it's kind of cool that Gareth does somewhat look like, we never learn a single name, I don't believe, except for Albert.
It was Chris. Chris
was it Chris?
He
does say. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
And I know that there is an Albert that they mentioned that seemed like he was maybe a dope. And even in the show, they mentioned that there's an Albert. They mentioned him twice in Terminus. But okay, Chris
there's a
was
female
his
name too, like Teresa or something. I can't remember.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. So Chris, Gareth does look a little bit like Chris, and he's saying the exact same little speech to Bob. The way Bob wakes up, the same scene of Gareth looking over him is exactly mirrored in the book, and that, like you said, the speech, nothing personal, but at the end of the day, no matter how much we may hate this ugly business, a man's got to eat.
And then he sees his leg or legs missing.
Then he sees his leg missing. And then, of course, he starts munching on, in this case, Dale in the book, munching on Dale right in front of him and even giving him the little speech about if it makes you feel any better, you taste a lot better than we thought you would.
Oh, that is so gross. I know.
It is so gross.
And then they have the same shot of the leg cooking on the fire and all the hunters, like you mentioned, eating in front of them.
And honestly, I cannot wait for what we know is about ready to happen. I guess we don't need to get into that, but we'll get some more fun stuff. Of course, Bob's not dead yet. I think he's still going to be able to, have a final say with Sasha and all these kinds of things. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's not spoil anything more.
Okay.
But finally, you noticed one thing that I actually did not pick up.
Yeah, it wasn't from this volume. It was from volume 9. Here We Remain, and I believe around issue 42, but because it was a totally different situation in time. I believe it was right after Abe and company kind of met up with
Sorry,
Rick.
I thought it was issue 52?
Mm-hmm. But it was almost different situation, but almost the exact same wording with Carl promising Rick never to let his guard down, almost the same speech. And so that was little, but it was neat to see too.
Absolutely. And wow, it really was. This is one of those moments, much like the first episode of last season when Rick was, injured and Carl had to take care of him, and how that really seemed like it was the comic come to life. Mm-hmm. This one was even more so. I think between that episode and the pilot, those are the ones that have most closely resembled the comic. And, Scott Gimple seems to be really living up to his word when he said that this season was going to mirror the comic much more. Holy crap. If the last 2 episodes are any indication, especially this one, I'm loving this. This is the book come to life.
Agreed.
And it's just absolutely perfect. They did this so well. My God, Gareth is so creepy. And he really gives off that same, like you said, Chris, I guess his name was, the hunter. Same vibe. Even the way when Dale wakes up and he's kind of groggily looking up and he sees all those people standing there as he realizes what's happening. I had that same sense with this, where you see everybody there. Even the guy Tyrese claimed he killed, but no, he's still sitting there mowing on a chunk of Bob as well. I don't think I have anything more to go on with this. Do you?
No, I think we covered it.
Fantastic. Well, back to Jason and Karen.
All right. Thanks to Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou. Now it's time for next week on The Walking Dead.
All right. Next week on The Walking Dead, the episode is number 3, and it's entitled 4 Walls and a Roof. Doesn't that sound nice? Or maybe that just sounds like a box. And the little description is, Rick and the group find themselves pitted against some very nasty people, but our group might just have a plan to gain the upper hand.
That's actually more descriptive than they usually are, I would say.
Yeah, but that really could describe...
Because it's like all the time, it's like, they're in trouble.
You're right.
Now we know they're fighting people.
Right. It's directed by a guy named Jeffrey January, who has been the assistant director in a lot of Walking Dead episodes, and he's also directed Revolution, some episodes of Revolution, Friday Night Lights. It didn't say, and I couldn't find where the writer was, so I don't know who the writer is going to be.
Did you watch the scenes for next week? I
did.
Can't remember what happened.
Yeah, there was a scene where Sasha's looking for Bob, and someone looks at her through night vision goggles, and then a zombie attacks. Yep.
I can't wait. Are you liking this season so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yep.
It's brutal.
It is really, really brutal, and I do promise myself I'm going to stop watching.
You didn't, though, this time, huh? Even though you were shocked and appalled?
I did not like the Bob Kebab at all, but yeah, I'm not going to drop it.
Good.
I can't quit you, Walking Dead. I try.
All right. That's good. Are you ready to close it out?
I am.
All right. That's our show, episode 157. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
If you'd like to call us, you can reach us at 650-485-DEAD. That's 650-485-3323.
You can write us at brains@walkingdeadcast.com.
You can check out our website with lots of Walking Dead news and info at walkingdeadcast.com. And thanks for everyone who clicks through our Amazon link on there. It helps support us.
We're also on Twitter at Jason and Karen, on Tumblr at walkingdeadcast.tumblr.com, and on Facebook at facebook.com/deadcast.
So next week we're on our regular schedule, which means we record Monday afternoon. And should we start doing those live ones again with
Heck
the chat
yeah,
room?
let's do it, man.
So if you want to hear us live and chat with other listeners, you can go to walkingdeadcast.com/live, and occasionally us.
Yeah, I mean, you hear us talking and recording the podcast, and